Ducklings, welcome back everyone, welcome back to another week, another day, another edition of the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 39. Nearing the end of the year, the end of December. Welcome everyone once again. Hope everyone has had a great time here covering DreamHack or watching and being a part of DreamHack Atlanta over last weekend. We did take a week off from KSL because of DreamHack Atlanta, but now we have returned with that Korean StarCraft League action. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is massive. It's full of high quality players as well. We can delve into the bracket soon, but until then we have our first series. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Hecate, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Hyper 1, living in the land of Japan. It is Mono. And spawning in the top right hand corner, in the top right, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle, the best player in all of Taiwan. It is Nice. Welcome everyone to the chat. I see Mito in the chat, Slow Bro as well, SC2 Bren. Oh, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Karma, Baby Ling, Frost as well, Sounder. Welcome everyone. It has been, it's been far too long since our last KSL, but not long enough at all between the last series of cast between these two players. Nice and Mono, they've been facing off very frequently. They faced off last week in Sparkling Tuna Cup. They've been facing off the finals of GPO as well. Speaking of, GPO is in a couple of hours. We have back-to-back broadcasts here today. 3 casts in one day. Let's go. It's gonna be a long day of StarCraft, as Mono does pull out just in time, doesn't finish too early here in the natural, and will force Nice to expand elsewhere. Okay, so already things gonna be popping off here. So again, this has become very commonplace in TVP ever since the new patch in the new meta. These eBay blocks are terrifying. The reason why behind this, it is a single gas opener, yes, but it is not a Rax expand, it is a Rax into factory. We have a reactor on the way. This should be leading into an add-on swap, and we're gonna be going into Hellions and Cyclones. The reason for this here is because we're looking to abuse the fact that Nice is split up between his bases. We already have a shield battery on the way. Again, Nice, he knows how vulnerable he is because he is forced to expand in a really awkward place, and he's going to be split between his bases. He's going to be spread thin here, and we go for a Stargate opener. Stargate openers are very common in this situation. The reason for this is because the rush distance by air is shorter than the rush distance by ground. We need to have maneuverability more than anything to be able to keep between both these bases and to keep up with the aggression of our opponent. As we are not going, we're not going Hellion, we're going Cyclone first. Again, a very powerful maneuver here from Mono. This is also the big reason why this opener in TVP has risen in popularity, specifically in the new patch, because of the new Cyclone. Because of that, we can actually take advantage of not just our players' immobility, but also even if they go for a Stargate opener, Cyclone shoot up, and they can pick off Oracles, they can pick off Phoenixes as well. They are quite dangerous, and here we go. The first Adept does make it in, actually. I'm not too sure if that was intentional, but we do shut down the Adept. Oh, we actually, force it into the main base. Does go down, and now Mono can move out. Now we have the Cyclones for DPS. We're going to have Hellions to try to get economic damage. That's the role here. Hellions for workers, Cyclones for everything else. Meanwhile, Void Ray first. Interesting choice. This is unique here. Usually we go Phoenix or even Oracle. The Oracles can DPS down the Hellions. Phoenixes can lift up the Hellions or lift up the Cyclones. Void Ray is an interesting choice. Void Rays are very powerful defensively. This is true, but they're also much more immobile compared to Oracles and Phoenixes. So we'll see if they're going to be able to be in position in time and how much damage they can get done as well. One Void Ray with prismatic alignment, we can kill a couple of Cyclones. Like, the DPS can be quite high here from Nice, as he is getting a position here at his natural base. At the same time, we don't really have the best SimCity here. Usually it's very commonplace for the Protoss player to actually wall off, and there we go. We have the gateway on the way. We should be able to wall off in time to deny a dive into the main, but here we go. The Hellions and Cyclones, they're diving in. Do we have enough? Oh, we do throw down the wall just in time, but it's going to be DPS down. We do break through. We break into the main base. We get the lock on of the Oracle. This is what I was worried about, and the Oracle barely does survive. Shield batteries within range. Void Ray coming in from behind as well. We focus on the Cyclones. We have the overcharge, and we do focus on both Cyclones in the end. Hellions as well, and we will clean this up. Things got a little bit messy there. Things got a little bit chaotic, but in the end, Nice does defend. what are the trades looking like? We lost 4 probes for 2 cyclones and 4 hellions. That is a good trade for the Protoss. Nice has successfully defended. He has deflected this, and now we're moving out. We are moving out for a big counterattack. And what do we have at home to defend? We have home mono here with a 3-1 setup, delayed starport. Very important to take that in mind. Bear that in mind, take note of that, as we are delaying the starport production to build up the marine and tank count as quickly as possible. So this is building up towards a 2-base push, a very hefty 2-base push, eventually with medevacs when we do throw down the starport. Meanwhile, Void Ray has arrived, and we're going to be being as annoying as possible, going for that tech lab. Stim isn't done, by the way, so we can't really threaten that Void Ray. Good movement here by Nice, keeps the Void Ray alive. Again, just getting damage done, being an annoyance. Meanwhile, at the same time, Oracle gets into the mineral line. Will not get much done, though, as it just is not enough HP. Marines do zone that Oracle away. Behind this, we're just saturating our bases. We are going Stargate Opener, yes, into a Gateway Explosion, into Charge Lots. Interesting choice. Second Oracle has arrived, going to be tagging that army. Does take a bit of hull damage, did get a little bit too cavalier, as Nice will barely escape the clutches here of the bases of Hon Mono. Both Oracles will get out. I believe we have a third Oracle. Yes, third Oracle has arrived as well, and we're going for a third base. Okay, so we're going Mass Oracle. Yeah, that's math. That's the 4th Oracle. Getting up to 4 Oracles is wild, by the way. And meanwhile, here we go. 2-base all in from Hon Mono. So far, unscattered. Oracle's stasis traps would be amazing in this position, but the Marines are going to be picking them off. They're going to be baiting them out. First stasis trap is going to be wasted. The army has been spotted, has been confirmed, and Nice. He needs to repair. He needs to prepare back at home. We have a lot of charges. We have a surround being set up. So far, some awkward positioning with the tanks, but we do manage to slip up into the main base. Here we go. There's Zelda coming from behind. They dive into the tanks. 1 tank goes down. The Oracles are going ham as well. That's a lot of Oracles. They mow through all the Marines. We get us around. We get the 2nd tank as well, and it looks like Nice will clean this up. He will shut this down. And with that, that's the death of 17 SCVs, 4 tanks, every single Marine, and now Nice is going for a massive counterattack. Hon Mono, he's in some trouble. I was a little bit concerned there when it came to the engagement and how much the Oracles could really dish out, but they did a surprising amount of damage. They were able to just mow through all those Marines. We'll still have a lot of Marines left over. Boys are being pulled once again. Can we break this? Can we get on top of the tank? And we can. The tank goes down once again. Oracle's being forced back. It looks like Nice, he's running out of steam, though. He took down the tank, yes, but doesn't have enough to kill the SCVs. Does have to retreat the Oracles. They still want more damage. We're still making more Oracles, by the way. Oh my god. Just non-stop Oracle production from Nice. We're getting up to 5 at this point. And Hon Mono's going to try to turtle here on these 2 bases. Again, he pushed without the medevacs. I was assuming he was going to wait for the starport production, but just now starts up the starport. And Hon Mono's in a really, really rough position here. He never intended for the game to go on this long. The game should be over by now. Nice is miles ahead economically. Revelation here on the army, revelation on the Marines, the tanks, keeping an eye on things, getting an eye on the starport. Still no 3rd CC, no 3rd base here from Hon Mono, and Nice is gonna back off. Now, as things calm down, God, a big shout out to Ryu Bafi. Oh my god, I saw you streaming earlier. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great stream. Whether it was StarCraft or Teamfight Tactics, este Ryu. Ay, ay, ay. Pero ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome everyone that's tuning in. Of course, Ryu is one of our own, one of our lovely CranKy Ducklings, has been streaming some StarCraft every now and then whenever he can. And yeah, thank you. Hope you had a great stream overall. As if you're joining us, welcome to the KSL. Welcome to the Korean StarCraft League. We're still in our first series, in our first game of the broadcast. Plenty more matches to come, and we have a matchup here between our South Korean Terran and our Taiwanese Protoss. And so far, again, Hon Mono, he is the cheesiest, most aggressive Terran player in all of South Korea, or in all of Japan as well, to be fair. And we're going for a 2nd all-in. Hey, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. We're pulling the boys for a 2nd time this game. Again, we are not going to be expanding. We're not going to be taking a 3rd base. We have +1 air attack on the way. We still have a lot of Oracles, to be fair. We have Phoenixes, which will help CC, crowd control, and pick up all these tanks. Well, that's a lot of Marines, and we don't have any splash damage. No Storm, no Colossi, no Archons, no Disruptors, just a sheer Gateway army. We're diving in a little bit too soon, but here we go. We're going for it. We pick up the tanks. The Marines, they start to step here well against these Oracles. Massive mine shots go off, and it looks like we're breaking through. Oh my god. Here we go. Homeowner still has a very comparable army supply compared to his opponents. The tanks did survive as well. Every single Oracle went down. Really good starter stepping out of Homeowner. Bunkers are being thrown down as well. The Zealots are charging in once again. We do lift up those tanks. The mines! Up! Ooh, big mine shot here on those Zealots. Good positioning here. Good choke point from Homeowner. He's once again pushing in. The tanks somehow survive. We're getting on top of the forges here. 1-1 did complete. Nice. We can see him once again setting up for a surround. He's looking to collapse on this army. Finally, these tanks should be going down. Good starter stepping here. Good positioning for these Marines, but we're running out of steam. We're running out of units, and it looks like Nice will clean this up for a second time. Honmono almost broke through. He almost got in. GG gets called, and Nice will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, the non-stop all-ins from Honmono, which is what we expect to see. Again, Honmono, he's a very aggressive player. He's all about, proxies, cheese, 1 base all-ins, 2 base all-ins. Pick your poison, Honmono will whip it out, and he looks damn good doing so as well. That's the scary thing here about Honmono is that, despite him, in a way, being quote-unquote predictable because, he's always aggressive, despite that, even if you know what's going on, it can be a tough defense and a tough hold. And hey, Homeowner, he still made it close towards the end there as well with that second all-in. Did well cleaning up all those oracles, but just barely did not have enough to break through the defensive line of Zealots. Barely could not kill Nice, and Nice takes a lead. GG. Again, these two face off many times here in our own weekly tournaments in Grand Platypus Open, as well as Sparkling Tuna Cup, and they go back and forth. They do go back and forth here. I wouldn't be surprised if we get an ace match, but for now, we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Starlight Twinkle, surviving and taking game 1. It is Nice. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the pink Terran player, the cheesiest Terran player in all of South Korea, living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It is Honmono. Here we go. So once again, we're going to be setting up the SV very quickly across the map. I remember last game, Homeowner did start off with an eBay block, and it looks like we're going to be doing something very similar here in game number 2. In game 1, Homeowner did not make this worth it. If you remember, he invested into 4 Hellions and 2 Cyclones. He tried to bust into the main base, and he got 4 probe kills. That was a rough start for Honmono, and Nice was able to establish himself on 2 and then 3 bases. A lot of the momentum that Nice gained and a lot of the strength that he gained as well was the fact that he was able to minimize his losses in the early game. We'll see if Honmono can make it work here though and achieve a little bit more damage and success in said early game, as once again he's going for an eBay block. Once again he's going to be forcing Nice to expand elsewhere, and once again I imagine Homeowner is going to be looking to try and punish the positioning here of Nice. This shouldn't be a Rax expand, it does look like it, but there should be a factory before CC, and there we go, the factory is soon to be thrown down. Again, this is a build that has risen in popularity just in the new patch just because of these eBay blocks as well, and there we go, Nexus has been taken. So it's going to be a delayed expansion for Honmono. He should be going for a reactor here on the Rex. There we go, reactor, into the add-on swap, into Cyclones and Hellions, once again, 2 games in a row. So this is going to be the same opener from Honmono in game 1 and game 2. Meanwhile, Nice, we'll see what kind of defense he goes for. We'll see if he's going to be mixing it up. Once again, we have a shield battery in the mineral line. Last game, we did have a Stargate opener, and we spoke about the benefits of a Stargate opener in this position. The big one is that the rush distance by air is shorter than that of by ground, and in a position where you have to do your best to, maneuver between your bases, maneuverability and, again, flexibility is key here. And the Void Rays and Oracles did very well for Nice. Did well for him in game 1, and we're going to be seeing something similar here in game 2. Once again, another Stargate. Meanwhile, Cyclones are on the way. There's a CC on the high ground here for Honmono. Again, it's not a 1-base all-in, it's just a delayed CC here for our Korean Terran player. Adept is going to be coming in for a scout and should get eyes on the reactored factory. We may even get confirmation of the first 2 units as well, as we do not commit to the shade this time. This time the Adept will survive. If you remember last game, Homeowner did lower the depot wall and allowed the Adept to come in, and then was able to get a kill, and the Cyclones have been spotted. Now, what's interesting here, Remember, last game it was double Cyclone into 4 Hellions. This time we're continuing Cyclone production, which is very interesting to me. We're already working on a second Rax and even a third Rax behind this as well, so it's going to be a 3-1 setup. Once again, delayed starport. This could lead into a 2-base all-in, or it could just lead into a delayed starport into a delayed third base. So we have aggressive potential with this army. But yeah, so this is really interesting. Basically, we delayed additional Hellion production to spend our minerals here on more Raxes. We are continuing Cyclone production as well. I imagine Homono, he may move out with his first couple of Cyclones, but he's not going to commit as hard, and he's going to be transitioning. Meanwhile, the first Oracle does get in, and we get a full Scout. Big Scout here for Nice. He does get a lot of SCV kills. He should be able to escape just in time, getting a bit of hull damage, but will manage to escape the clutches of these Cyclones. We get 3 SCVs, and we get eyes on all 3 Raxes, as well as the Cyclones. Back at home, Nice once again did open up Void Ray to be safe into a Twilight Council. This should be Charge again. So, Nice. It looks like he's going Charge lots alongside, a couple of Skytoss units to support. Meanwhile, Homono, very different approach, and I kind of like this. So, his Homono's adaptation, even though the opener looked very similar, is just taking a more defensive stance here and building up a little bit harder to his 2-base push, just because he's going to be preserving all these Cyclones. And he's got quite a lot. He's got 5 Cyclones in total. That's a lot of extra DPS. We already have Stim, Combat Shields on the way, tank production. This is all faster. This is all like 1 step faster compared to the last game, which means that the eventual 2-base all-in, and I'm assuming it's going to be a 2-base all-in out of Homono, is going to hit harder as well. And that's why it's so important here for Nice to get a revelation off. He gets eyes on the lack of saturation here on the low ground. There's very few SCVs, but we're still building up that worker count, to be fair. But again, Nice, his goal here is to keep eyes and keep tabs on whether or not Homono moves out. Another big thing, talking about the map, talking about Golden Aura, is the rush distance by ground is very short. Very short rush distance by ground, so these 2-base all-ins can hit like a truck. Meanwhile, we do get caught out. Big pick off. 1 Oracle does fall. Behind this, we're continuing Oracle production. We missed the revelation as well. We missed the units. And here we go. We're amassing our army. Do we pull the boys with this? We do. Not many boys to pull. Not going to be too many SCVs, but here we go. Homono, he is hitting hard. He's hitting fast. Nice, going to try to meet the army in the center of the map, but Nice, he has to try to slow this down. There we go. He does run into the Cyclones. Has to back off already. Oh, and Nice, he's woefully underprepared. He has very few units to work with. Charge is just about to finish up, but do we have enough Zealots? We have a shield battery, we have an overcharge, no stasis trap. Bunkers are being thrown down. Homono setting up here outside the natural base. The Zealots, they try to dive in, and we do activate the Pulsar Beam as well. We focus down as many of these Cyclones as we can. The tanks as well. But it looks like the Zealots get cleaned up. The Marines survive. We stim on forward. We stim up the ramp. We still have that overcharge. We haven't wasted it. There we go. Oh, a little bit premature with the overcharge, though. Again, it's slowly going to be running out here. Homeowner, he's going to wait out that overcharge. Reinforcements are coming in. He already stimmed once. His army is very low. Remember, every stim counts. Just because we don't have any medevacs. We're diving in. The Oracle doing what it can. It looks like the tank is going to fall. And these Zealots are doing so much damage because the army's so battered and bruised. It doesn't take too many swipes. Doesn't take too many Zealot hits to bring this back, and it looks like Nice will hold. that was an intense moment. Nice, he barely does hold on. More charge lots are going to be coming in. Homeowner running all the way back. No bunker set up here. Boys are being pulled to repair to help buffer. Homeowner, he's still struggling to survive. As he has to pull back here to mining. Trying to set up a defensive position. Behind this, Nice, we have a third. Double Forge. 1-1 going to be on the way. Nice, transitioning out of this, taking up, focusing on his upgrades, and continuing Oracle production. And something that we lacked last game that we're getting here, Templar Archives. Storm, Archons, High Templar. We now gain access to some splash damage. Nice is going to have a much easier time if it's going to be a follow-up 2-base all-in. And based on what we saw last game, I imagine that's going to be the case. After losing so many SCVs, that was what, 12 dead workers here, 5 dead Cyclones, 2 dead tanks. Trying to take a third CC from this position is going to be very difficult. And here we go, we have a 4th Rax, we have the Starport. Interesting. Okay, so that's going to be a 5th Rax, which is normal, like 5 Raxes for a 2-base all-in makes sense as the Oracle's going ham. Oh my god, we're getting more SCVs! We can't afford to lose workers. But this is the big one, Ghost Academy. Ghost Academy is on the way. We're taking up even further here. And I'm curious if Homono does plan on expanding. Now, he may just go for a 2-base all-in with maybe 3 Ghosts and 3 EMPs. That's a big possibility here for Homono. I'm loving the positioning of these Widow Mines. We're fanning them out, hoping to catch some of these Oracles. Cheeky moves here from Homono, hoping to catch Oracles or anything else. Behind this, the Temple Archives is done. A couple of Archons are on the way. Still no Storm as we're taking a 4th base, and I hope we don't delay Storm for too much longer. Just because it can be invaluable here in the defense. Meanwhile, Ghosts are on the way. The Oracles are being the mine shot. Oh my god, massive mine shots here. We'll connect with both Oracles. Really good positioning here from Homono. Really good pickoffs as well. Something going his way. Getting both Oracles in the end. Behind this, nice moving up with his Zealots. I don't expect him to commit to an attack. I think he's just getting in position to deny a 3rd. I think he's assuming that a 3rd base is going to be taken, or just in case it would be, he'd be here to stop it. So he's just getting in position here at that 3rd base. Behind this, continuing Ghost production, Marines, Marauders. We have a couple of medevacs to sustain this army. Still no 3rd base. This is looking like a 2-base all-in here. Especially with only 1 eBay. We're only working on 1 upgrade at a time. I imagine we're going to be trying to hit a timing here with +1. As the army's pushing on forward here, we do get eyes on all these Zealots. We got to get the hell out of here. We don't want to bleed out too much. 1, 2 Zealots go down. Decent trades. I mean, Homono doesn't lose anything for this. We can see nice share, just fanning out his units. Fanning out his Zealots, trying to get some spotter, some vision essentially out on the map. There we go. Homono pushing on the right-hand side has been confirmed. Nice. Still being very active with all these Zealots. It's a lot of... Jeez, that is so many Widow Mines. 7 Widow Mines. Once again, nice. Trying to get a read on when and if Homono commits. 3rd TC is on the way. Scan does confirm the tech. Do we have Storm? Still no Storm, by the way. We have High Templar, but yeah, they're just going to be morphed into Archons. The Zealots have been spotted. These are good pickoffs here from Homono. He's catching free units. Like, how many Zealots have gone down already? I want to say around maybe 4, maybe 5 Zealots. Doesn't sound like a lot, but every little bit counts. But there it is, 3rd TC. I can't believe it, but we are trying to expand. Another Zealot goes down. The mines! Ooh, big mine shots. We still have 3 more behind this. Oh, one of them goes down. A second one as well. Some brutal trades. But it looks like we're going to be committing with these Zealots, which means these Zealots should be going down. At the same time, here comes the main army of Nice. He's got 1/1 upgrades. He's got +2 attack as well. He's trying to come in for a surround. A little bit of an awkward position for Nice, and yeah, he's going to back off. Scan confirms the 4th up and running. Homono down 2 bases. But he's up in army supply. That's what's scary right now. That's why I'm concerned there's no Storm. As Nice is kind of falling behind the supply deficits, and his army upgrades are good, don't get me wrong. He's got 2/2, but it's a couple of good EMPs, and this army is just going to crumble. Again, so far already 1 good EMP on these Zealots. But we are looking to connect on the Archons. Here we go. Homono, he is committing. He is, again, up in army supply. Overcharge is going to be popped. Homono pulling back with his Marines. Trying to make sure he doesn't get surrounded. Covering that tank. Shield battery, again, was a little bit premature here from Nice. Meanwhile, Nice going for a counterattack instead, or actually trying to set up a surround. But he's getting caught. Oh. He is getting caught out. At the same time, the tanks are exposed. Tanks going to be falling here. But these Zealots get annihilated. This is just not a good fight for Nice. And it looks like Homono snowballing out of control. Who needs a 3rd base? I mean, Homono eventually got a 3rd, but he's just been building up and trading so efficiently over the past couple of minutes. With a massive, efficient army of Marine, Marauder, Ghost. Yeah, big EMPs as well. I'm looking for big EMPs. Mine shot's going to be going off. The Archons, they waddle into their deaths. 2 Archons go down for free, and it looks like Homono has done it. He's snowballing out of control. The Protoss may be up 2 bases, but again, the army quality just was not there. against Chargel Archon, this army just, it's so fragile, so flimsy against what Homeowner has. It's all about the EMPs. There it is, big EMPs on the army. Good positioning as well. The Chargelots with their upgrades though, they're closing distance. Oh, trying to force some friendly fire. Trying to force that mine shot. Another big EMP there on that Archon. The army is overstimmed. It is getting a bit overstimmed, but we have more wind mines rocking up. Homeowner, he should be able to deal with this. Nice, still has a better economy. Bear that in mind. Nice, going for some more warp pins. I still am concerned at the lack of tech. No disruptors, no colossi, no storm. Oh god, these mine shots are gonna be brutal. I think Nicey, yeah, he's aware of them. He does see them. There's a revelation. Oh, but there are just so many Widow Mines. It's again a good EMP to start things off. Zell's trying to come in from behind, but there's just another minefield. Oh no! Oh my god, big connection. Big connection on those Zealots. I wouldn't be opposed to going for a counterattack here at the third base. Additional Vaxes on the way. Nice is trying to buy some time here. Homeowner up 40 supply. That's 40 army supply, by the way. Once again, a big EMP here on these Zealots. We're dragging the army through the Widow Mines as well. The minefield is brutal. Homeowner, he goes for a scan, gets eyes on the lack of fifth. Yeah, big mine shots once again, and Homeowner, he should be able to just annihilate this army. He sims on forward, takes down the Zealots, takes down the Archons as well. And GG gets called. Homeowner ties up the series 1-1. We're going to the ace match. GG, well played. Homeowner, his initial 2-base all-in may have failed, but that's the thing about Homeowner, is that he is tenacious, and even if the first all-in fails, man, he just stays on, turtles on 2 bases, techs up, and pushes again and again and again. It's what happened in game 1. It's what happened here in game 2 as well. You know, surviving an all-in from Homeowner is not enough. It's not going to be enough. As we are getting ready here for our next game, for the ace match. Getting ready here for the ace match, and it's all going to come down to our final game. It's all going to come down to game number 3. Here we go. But yeah, overall, just really solid. I guess I should even say a composition, really solid composition out of Homeowner when it comes to working towards his ghosts, of course, working towards his just 2-base play overall. Despite his initial push not really achieving too much, did quite well, and now we're getting ready for the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends in game 3. Where are the storms at? Well, I mean, to be fair, like, even if there were storms available, EMPs could have still affected that as well. But that's kind of like a big if, right? That's kind of a big question mark, or it would have been another factor, I should say, another factor in the game, another back and forth between the spell casters, between the ghosts and the storms. Nice instead, he was going for a very upgrade heavy style. I don't know if you noticed, but I think he was working on 3-3 at the end. Like, he was very heavy on upgrades and very reliant on them. But I do agree, though. I do agree that splash damage was necessary in that position. Like, Nice already had a better economy, but wasn't fully reflected there when it came to the army quality or the army composition that he could have had available. So, was caught out in the end, and here we go. Now we're getting into the ace match. Getting into game 3. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkyone, we have the South Korean Terran player, the pink Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is Hon Mono. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Taiwanese Protoss, the red Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Nice. Go. As we are going to be settling into the final game of this series. Again, so far, so good. Once again, for the third time in a row, we do have Homeowner going for the eBay block. Very consistently going for the same opener here. Homeowner has been this entire series, going for the engineering bay here on the low ground just to force the unnatural natural out of Nice. All about that eBay. With this should once again be leading into a factory before CC, and once again be leading into either Hellions or Cyclones. Now, we did see Homono deviate. Remember, game 1, he committed to harassing with his Hellions and Cyclones initially. Game number 2, Homono committed to additional Cyclones, and actually didn't push out. He went for a 2-base all-in, but a much more crisp 2-base all-in in game number 2 from Homono, just because he retained all of his units, and very quickly went up to 3 Vaxes as well as tank production. And it just did. Meanwhile, at the same time, we do see Nice being forced to take the unnatural. Natural going to be taking the linear 3rd base as his natural location instead. See in chat, why did he make a Void Ray and not a Phoenix? Void Ray, a Phoenix is heavily reliant on having multiple Phoenixes to actually defend in the early game. The Void Ray does add a little bit more DPS and a little bit more defensive potential here, if he was assuming that the Cyclones would have attacked. If you remember, the Cyclones didn't, which is why the Void Ray wasn't really as useful in game 2, but in game 1, I think that's a good example. If you missed out on game 1, Nice went Void Ray first into an Oracle, and that did actually completely shut down the Hellion and Cyclone aggression of Honmono. So it was a lot more successful and a lot more effective in game 1, less so in game number 2. Just because Homeowner didn't push. Meanwhile, behind this, we are once again going for the factory before CC, but we are going in a different direction. This time, no add-on swap. This time, we're going into Widow Mines instead. Okay. Oh no! Ooh, as the Adept almost gets in. But I'm sure the Adept does also recognize the later add-on swap this time, which is a little bit suspect. We are going to Cyclones eventually. There's that second Rex on the way once again from Honmono. Widowmine is going to be waddling into that mineral line here, trying to catch any kind of harassing unit from his opponent. We do have another Stargate opener here out of Nice. Going to be going Oracle first. If you remember, did go Oracle first in game number 2, and is going for a second Oracle behind this. Oh boy, and I'm a little bit concerned here. For those who maybe don't see, that is a Widow Mine behind that Gas Geyser. Nice has to be very careful here with how he does push in. Meanwhile, we do have our CC being landed here at the natural base. Getting up into a 3-1-1 setup. Oracle dives it out. The mine is gonna connect, and the Oracle goes down in the main base. A brutal start here, and again, a really good adaptation out of Homono. Game 1, Oracle also went into the main base and was able to get some economic damage done. This time, Homono more than ready in position, and does reposition his Widow Mine once again. So a good start from Homono. Behind this, we do see Nice getting into the rest of his gateways as well, going for his Robo. Now, Nice, he did go into a second Oracle, and 2 Oracles do one-shot workers, but he may feel a little bit tentative about moving out now. As again, Homeowner going for a different variation. Did get a couple of Cyclones defensively initially. Adepts commit to the Shade. We do get eyes on the production, and this looks like another 2-base all-in from Homeowner. This it looks like we're going to be hitting a timing with Stim and +1. We will have a tank production well underway. We may have a 3rd tank in time for the push. We don't have as many Cyclones this time, so the composition is going to be slightly different to what we've seen before. Only 2 Cyclones. Remember, last game we had 5. So just getting into faster tank production this time. Remember, in the previous game, we had 2 tanks for the push. This time, we should have 3. Maybe even 4 tanks. Just because we should be waiting for +1. Let's get a homeowner. He's just turtling up here on 2 bases. At the same time, we have our shield battery. Behind this, we're getting into a more robo-heavy composition. I do appreciate that Nice is kind of switching up his playstyle and switching up what he's working with. Overall, I do think that's a good thing. Revelation does get eyes on the army. Here we go for the unsiege, and we are getting ready to move out. Okay, so we're hitting a timing with Stim. +1 still on the way. We have not pulled any boys yet. I'm curious if Homeowner intends on committing as... Oh, he does get supply blocked. Ay, ay, ay. Brutal supply block here from Homeowner. Does have to break out of it. Behind this, Phoenix Colossus on the way. A much more standard composition out of Nice. Very meta. Very by the book. He's got Zealots. No charge. Bear that in mind. No Twilight Council. There we go. The boys are being pulled. It's going to be a 2-base all-in out of Honmono. When it comes to the defense, I'm a little bit concerned. I think we're barely going to have 1 Colossus, but I don't know if that's going to be enough, especially with slow lots. This army feels a little bit lacking here as the Oracles are going to be diving on in. We do have a depot done. We go straight for the add-ons. We're looking to try and deny combat shields. Yeah, boys are being pulled, and a lot of SCVs are going to be going down as a result, but we are still committed. And these are Oracles that will not be a part of the fight. Colossus has arrived. Oh, but the tanks are sieging. Nice being forced back again. His attention was back across the map. He gets 7 SCV kills. Gets 7 SCVs, but the positioning here just seems a little bit too good. We're up to 4 tanks. If we had charged, maybe a different story here, but here we go. The Phoenix is diving forward. They're going to try and pick up as many tanks as we can. Tanks are lifted, but the DPS just isn't there. The Phoenix is going to be going down. The tanks survive. And Nice, he just barely has anything left. He does kill a lot of SCVs, to be fair. Oh god, but the tank shots are just brutal. Yeah, we're focusing down the Immortals. Both Immortals go down. The tank survives. We may have 1 Colossus, but that's all we really have. We have a 2nd Colossus coming out. We do have a 2nd Colossus, and... Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, it looks like Homeowner, he's going to be able to break through. Going to be able to break into that main base as well. Gets on top of the pylon, gets on top of the Robo. And it looks like Homeowner, he just has too much. Again, his tanks are still in position. The Colossus are getting a lot of damage done. Oh my god. Swiping away at the Marines. Very nice damage here from Nice. Can we survive this? I mean, again, Nice, he is ahead in economy, but he has to recall over to his other base, to his natural. Gonna try to hold on. Void Rays on the way. Phoenix has to be very careful with how we push in. Tanks still on siege. Nice. Again, he has a better economy. Can he survive? Can he clean this up? Tanks are repositioning. Phoenix is... Oh god! Bit of miscontrol. 1 Phoenix does rally to its death. Tanks are pushing forward towards that mineral line. Still rallying Marines across the map. +1 is done. We do have a big gateway explosion. Again, the tanks, they do pose a big threat. 6 probes go down. Homeowner, he's catching up in that economy. Tanks do unsiege. They do unsiege as Homeowner, he's getting on top of the high ground. Uh-oh. And Nice, not quite in position. He's taking another base, and we can lay siege upon this mineral line. Yeah, we take control of the natural. Nice going for a big counterattack instead. And we should be able to get a lot done, to be honest. What do we have at home to defend? We have a handful of Marines, a handful of Marauders. We have a tank! That's going to be huge. We have 1 tank as well. Yeah, we're going to be evacuating that natural base. At the same time, we do see a Homeowner pushing into the main. He just stims right into the main base, getting on top of the production. Colossus across the map doing what they can. A lot of SCVs are going down. The 1 Void Ray. The 1 Void Ray is all holding on here. Probes are going to be falling. Shield battery goes down as well. across the map. We have killed everything, but alas, not going to be enough. GG gets called, and Honmono will take the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Oh, nice. Again, just had a really awkward defense initially. Stuck with all these slow lots, stuck with only one Colossus, and yeah, essentially every game, 2 base all in out of Honmono. Let's go. Which is what we expect to be seeing, to be fair, with the kind of player that Honmono is. Does end up snowballing out of control and does take down Nice in the end. But it was a back and forth, did go to the ace match. Honestly, I believe that Nice would be able to bring it home in game 2. Like, game 2 was looking rough for Honmono. If you remember, game 2, his initial 2 base all in failed. It failed. Nice was able to defend. He got up to 3 bases, got up to 4 base economy. But Nice, he was just lacking a little bit more tech with his army. He was lacking splash damage. That was like the big thing that was missing for Nice. And the fact that Honmono happened to be rushing into Ghost of all things against a charged lot Archon composition was brutal. And Honmono, he was able to claw his way back in, win it in the end, and did take the series. With this, we can go over the bracket as well. We can go over the bracket and everything that has been going on as we get into the second round here. Honmono advances on to face off against Hero in round 2. Likewise, we already have our first semi-finalist. Really fast tournament here. DRG 2-0'd Periphorian, sorry. And Classic 2-0 DRG. That all happened. All those 4 games happened in one best of 3 series that we casted. Oh my god. So really fast matches going on there. Classic waiting for the winner of our next series, which is Honmono versus Hero in a TVP. So that is going to be our road here. That's going to be what we're going to be covering in this broadcast. Hero versus Honmono into Classic. In the lower half of the bracket, we have Dark versus Cyan. Cyan 2-0 Dimaga. We also have Nightmare 2-0 in Gref, and up against Björn. So we still have representation from all the races. We have Dark, we have Björn for Zerg and Terran respectively, and we have plenty of Protoss as well. And of course Honmono for the Terran alongside Björn. But again, it's going to be a bit of a shorter broadcast today, a bit of a shorter tournament. You know, we are a little bit lighter here when it comes to signups, but a big reason for that, I'm sure, is just because of the end of the year, the holidays that are upon us as well. A lot has been going on, and I have to quickly set things up. There we go. Beautiful. Here we go. We have our next series. Vetoes are done, and we're going to be loading into Hero versus Honmono. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkione, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Dragon Kai-Z Gaming. It is Hero. And spawning in the bottom left, we have as opponent, we have the blue Terran player from the land of South Korea representing Team Hyper 1. And from the land of Japan, it is Honmono. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Honmono, basically what we've already been seeing so far is most likely going to continue. 2 base all-ins is kind of his MO here. We'll see if he tries to adjust against Hero. Of course, Hero, one of the best Protoss players in the world, is quite a bit of a step up here, and we'll see if Honmono can make some magic happen against someone of the caliber of Hero. Apparently Hero was a little bit unwell. I say unwell. Hero had fallen a little bit ill after DreamHack Atlanta, so he was recovering. We have been seeing him compete, of course, in this week's WTL, and Hero has returned. And hopefully Hero is recovered and in form, in shape after the travels abroad. This time Honmono doesn't go for the eBay block, a wise choice. Now what Hero is doing is something that has become more meta recently. If you look at the top Protoss players like Hero, MaxPax, Showtime, this is very common. Because of what we saw in the previous series, because of all the eBay blocks, it has become a lot more common to go for a low ground war, where the probe comes down to the low ground with the pylon with the gateway, which means that if there was an eBay block, we would get to be, we would see it ahead of time and shut it down ahead of time as well, which means we would expand on location at the natural. We will not be forced into an unnatural position. We will not be forced into defending these kind of awkward bases. The meta has shifted in a way where this kind of opener from Hero is becoming a lot more prevalent in PvT. So it's been really cool to see kind of the meta like ebb and flow and kind of be shaped by the new play styles that have been arising. And that is again a big reason as to this base layout. The downside is that you aren't able to block the Reaper Cliff. So usually the initial gateway and pylon is here on the right hand side to make it a little bit more difficult for the Terran player to scout. So that's the downside to going for this kind of opener, but the upside is that you're able to expand and you're able to survive the early game. So there's a bit of a give and take. Bit of a give and take here, as we do have across the map the Adept going to be arriving, going to be threatening that natural base. Marines do move in. Homono just trying to maintain his position here, trying to maintain this SCV, this building CC. We'll get it up and running. Behind this, we do have a 3-1-1 setup once again. What we expect to be seeing here, a delayed starport and a prioritization of marine production as well as Hellions into Cyclones into eventually tanks. So a very aggressive style from Homono once again. The downside to this is that Homono doesn't really know what's going on. He has very limited scouting information because he has no Reaper. He has no Widowmine drop to get into the main either. But a big reason as to why Homono doesn't have any scouting is because he's not really concerned with what his opponent is doing. He's more concerned with what he's doing. As it is going to be a Stargate opener. Stargate opener into an Oracle. Interesting, we're going straight into a Twilight Council. This looks like Blink. So usually Stargate openers are alongside charge lots. That is true. But because we don't have any Phoenixes, Blink would make a lot more sense here from Hero. So we'll see what kind of direction he goes in as the Oracle slips into the main base, and we are getting quite a bit of SCVs. Oh my god. 2-3 workers going to be going down. This time there is no Widowmine in position. Homono, he's going to be committing across the map. But we have a wall off. We have a shield battery, a prism, a shield battery, an overcharge, and Adepts. Aliens doing what they can, but again, assault defense here by Hero across the map. He's getting out of control. 14, 50, almost 15 SCVs go down. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, the Hellions do slip in. They barely do break their way into that mineral line, but the boys, they turn around, they fight, they shut down the Hellions, and Homono will lose everything. Every unit goes down. This is the other benefit, I guess, of going for this kind of Sim City, is that you do get a full wall off here at the natural, and Homono was unable to break in, or by the time he did, it was too late. It lost too much HP, and now Homono, his economy is crippled. And the economy being crippled doesn't really matter too much for Homono, but what matters now is that he lost the boys. The SCVs have died, which means, how do we pull the boys if there are no boys to pull? So Homono, he's in a really rough position here. I mean, jokes aside, like, other than not having many SCVs to move across the map, on top of that, no economy here to sustain his production. You know, he can't even produce another tank at the moment. He's waiting for more resources because of his lack of SCVs. There we go, just now starting up the other tank. But his macro has been negatively impacted here by losing so many workers. And behind this, Hero happily expanding, freely taking a third. A shield battery overcharge is going to be available. We have Forge for +1. Blink, as we mentioned, is on the way. Again, as I mentioned before, because there are no Phoenixes, it does create an opportunity to go into Blink Stalkers. Blink is a Twilight Council Blink follow-up is a little bit unnatural and very delayed, but is going to be more of a surprise here and a little bit more comfortable for Hero, being able to flex his control, flex his micro as the Stalkers are moving out. The army of Homono is amassing. We are pulling the boys, because of course we are. But he may have lost 14 SCVs, but that's not going to stop him from going for a 2-way solo. But GG gets called. He already gets spotted. Does not try to pull it off, and Homono taps out. Hero takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Oh, Hero just all over Homono in that first game, and yeah, shutting him down at every turn. The Oracle just got out of control initially, dealing so much economic damage, and likewise, Homono just could not recover, could not actually pull off his all-in that he was trying to work towards. go. It looks like other portions of the bracket are wrapping up, and no shot. We have some updates. We have a very surprising update at that. As we get everyone involved and we try to get everyone invited. The lower semifinals already. Dark was 2-0'd by Cyan. Oh my god. We have a little bit of time just because casters are filing in, but yeah, I mean, Nightmare 2-1 Beyond, which, I mean, to be fair, I mean, that's a little more believable for me, just because Nightmare has beaten Beyond before. So Beyond has been eliminated, and Cyan 2-0 Dark. Cyan has taken games off of Dark before. Like, he has taken games that is not unheard of, but to 2-0, that I'm more surprised by. GG. We're in for a PvP semis. We're Honmono is the last remaining non-Protoss player in the tournament. Can we avoid the non-stop PvPs? Like, what is this? ESL Asia? What? This is... Oh my god. We casted a tournament recently that was non-stop PvPs. What was it? It was, the House Open Cup. Like, what is this? Like a Polish tournament? We've been getting a lot of just non-stop PvPs recently, and it's looking to be the case here as well. Best of luck to our last non-Protoss, but we'll see if we can make a series out of this as we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming. It is Hero. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the cheesiest Terran player in all of South Korea, living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It is Honmono. Here we go. As Hero, he's already being as annoying as possible, tasing away at that SCV, slipping into the main base. I was just really not expecting Dark not to make it to the semifinals. Again, a shout out to Nightmare as well. Don't want to gloss over that. The fact that he was able to take down Beyond 2-1. Again, Nightmare. Personally, I do believe that Nightmare's best matchup is PvT. We have seen Nightmare beat Beyond. We've seen him beat Gumiho. We've seen him beat Cure as well. Not saying that he's the favored player by any means, but that is kind of his wheelhouse, and that is where Nightmare can really thrive and spread his wings the hardest. That is against Terran. So a big shout out to Nightmare, taking down Beyond once again. Ooh. As we have SCVs trying to get us around to that probe. They do not get it though. Hero slipping away, lubing up his probe as he does. So slippery. Behind this, Honmono, very interesting actually. So Honmono went for what looks to be a Rax Expand opener. He did not go for an eBay block across the map, but he's still going for a factory before CC. This may just be his go-to. This may be his go-to opener, but I'm not in love with it right now. So this is a very standard opener if you do go for the eBay block and if you do disrupt the opener. If you don't, this is just really committed, and you are gonna be putting yourself a little bit behind. We'll see what kind of direction Honmono goes in, especially because Hero saw everything. He saw the timing of the factory, and very safe play. I approve of this. Hero, he's going for a Robo opener. So there are 3 different openers. Typically 3. There's like niche builds, sure, but usually it's Stargate or Twilight Council or Robo. Robo is a lot more niche as well. It's a little more unorthodox. The Robo opener is just very safe. It's a way to get into really early Immortal production. It's a way to rush into Colossus early on as well. You can turn the tables here and be aggressive if we go for a Warp Prism first. If we go for like 2 more gateways and a Warp Prism, we can harass, but otherwise it's just a very defensive way to play. Reason why I say that is because Phoenixes and Oracles give you map control with a Stargate opener. Blink Stalkers also give you map control with Blink, with a Twilight Council opener. With a Robo, don't really have much of a map presence, and there it is, early Immortal production. So Hero, he's assuming it's a 1-base all-in, but he does get eyes on the building CC. Like a Robo opener just shuts down 1-base all-in so hard, alongside most proxies as well. But again, behind this, Homono is going for a delayed CC further back in his main. As we saw, Hero was able to scout and confirm. He's aware. And from here, we'll see if Hero goes for a Prism or goes for a Bay. There we go. 2 more gates. 3 gates in total. Pretty solid amount of gateways. Pretty solid amount of production available here for Hero. Behind this, Homono getting into his 3-1-1 setup here once again. Hellion production has commenced, and we are moving on with our first handful of factory-based units. We haven't scattered anything, by the way. Not aware whether or not there's SimCity on the low ground or not. Shield battery is still about to finish up. Observer's coming out. And the Observer does confirm the army. Immortal's getting in position, and we spoke about it. Nice scan on the Observer. But we spoke about it. Again, a very defensive opener out of Hero. And with this early Immortal, like, we can't really touch this. Like, the Immortal's just going to focus down the Cyclones as soon as it gets within range. Also, I thought that second pylon was a shield battery. I'm a little bit concerned that there's no shield battery here. There's the Fast Bay, as we mentioned. The power of a Robo Opener, Immortal production, and Fast Robotics Bay. The Immortal getting some hits in. Second Immortal has arrived, and in a head-to-head fight, Homeowner cannot fight this. Not head-on. So we do not commit to the shade. Behind this, Homeowner is working on his tank production. Stim is on the way as well. Hero pushing out, does come across those Cyclones, gets 1! Oh my god. At the same time, Hellions do get in. 3 Hellions, 1-shot probes. There we go, 2 workers go down. 3, can we get another volley off? Oh, it looks like we will. Big volley as well. The probes they line up. 7 probes. Can we get 1 more? Oh, oh my god. 7 workers, not too bad. But Hero goes for a big counterattack, catches both Cyclones. War Prison speed is on the way. Oh my god, we're looking to have some fun. We're looking to drop with some Colossi. My, oh my. And Hero is going for a counterattack. Again, it doesn't have to. Like, remember, Homeowner is the one going all in. But Hero, he's just being so assertive here, so in his face. The boys are being pulled, and will Hero be caught out? The boys have a right. Good target firing here. 1 tank goes down. Big pick off. And Hero, he wants more. Dropping in once again with those Immortals. Does miss a tank, but he's going to be camping the production. They're taking down some of these Marines, forcing more boys off the mineral line. Good juggling. Back at home, the Colossus comes out just in time as well. And Homeowner already lost one of his tanks. The other is so low. Shield battery isn't done yet, but some big swipes here on these SCVs. Yeah, the boys cannot touch this. We do get on top of the shield battery. Do you force a cancel? No overcharge. Big pickup. But the Prism comes back. We come in from behind. We get a tank. And there's 1 tank remaining. Soon to be 0 tanks. Good juggling here. Hero keeps everything alive. Gets away with the Prism. 20 SCVs went down, and Homeowner barely has anything left. He's got a handful of Marines. He's got 1 tank left as well. And Hero proactively just jumping on this. GG gets called. And Hero will take the series 2-0. Taking down the last non-Protoss player. GG. GG, well played. We have our semi-finalists. Let's go. We have our semi-finalists here. Congratulations to Hero for advancing on. Shout out to Homeowner here for making it this far and for, again, just trying to catch out Hero with his builds, with his aggressive nature. But again, Hero was, it felt like, in the driver's seat for most of this series. Able to be assertive and to, yeah, just be constantly in the face of Homeowner. Really powerful play there from Hero. But as we get ready for our semis, again, we can have a look at the bracket itself. We have our top 4. We have a Hero versus Classic in a best of 3, and we have Cyan versus Nightmare also in a PvP best of 3 as well. The question becomes, which Protoss players will make it to the finals? Who has the best PvP amongst all of them? And this could go either way. What I will say about Hero and Classic, they go back and forth. Historically, Hero has won more. I want to say like maybe 60% in favor of Hero, maybe 65 or 70%. But Classic does take maps and he does take series, and It's a PvP. Anything can happen. This is very much so up in the air, and this could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if Classic 2-0s. I wouldn't be surprised if Hero 2-0s. I think it's going to be very difficult to predict who comes out on top. Obviously, Hero is still going to be the favored player, but not by much. And predictions will soon be open. So, if you're in the chat, if you want to get some gamba going, then we got you covered. We will soon have you covered. We are just setting things up here. It looks like we're going to be going on a short break. It takes a little bit of time here for the players to conduct their vetoes. We're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have our first semifinals here. I believe Cyan versus Nightmare is currently ongoing. The lower semifinals are being casted by Enki. Enki in Spanish, so be sure to support Enki and to check that out. Meanwhile, we are going to be settling on in. We're going to be settling on into this. We're going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a short break, and we'll be back. We'll be back with our upper semifinals. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of the Korean StarCraft League, week number 39. Welcome to the PvP edition of KSL. Let's go. Because we have nothing but Protoss left. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets on how you think this series will unfold. One way or another, a Protoss will face off in the finals against another. And it's up to you to predict who is going to make it that far. Who's going to make it, as you have a couple of minutes upon hearing this message. Predictions. Oh, beautiful. As we load into this, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hardlead, we have the red Protoss player. From the land of South Korea, representing CranKy Z Gaming, it is Hero. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have another South Korean Protoss player representing Team Twisted Minds. It is Classic. Here we go again. I expect aggression. I expect proxies. I expect even all-ins out of these two. Hero and Classic, they face off many times throughout the months, throughout the entire year of StarCraft. They face off so often here in events like KSL, Kung Fu Cup, ESL Open Cup Asia, ESL Open Cup Americas as well. They do face off quite frequently here, and whenever they do, it's always a lot of fun. Always a lot of fun here when these two Protoss players collide. And we'll see how they approach each other. For now, we just see 2 gate openers from Hero, 2 gate opener from Classic as well. I've brought this up before. I want to say maybe a month ago, Hero was experimenting with gate expands, and he was embracing the gate expand opener, the max packs opener, if you will, in PvPs, and he was even doing it against Classic with mixed success. Fun fact, I believe Classic won that series when Hero was trying to go for a gate expand every single game. And again, he had mixed results with it. Ever since then, I haven't really seen Hero embrace it too often. I'm sure he will whip it out at some point in this series or some point in this tournament, but yeah, for now, standard openers. It's going to be 2 gate double Stalker out of Classic, going to be 2 gate Stalker Sentry out of Hero. So a much more defensive opener out of Hero. With the Sentry, we're going to be able to go for a hallucinated scout and get a read on whether or not your opponent is going for a 1-base all-in. As Classic, he cranks out 2 Stalkers and he's got 2 more behind this. He will have that much more DPS available. We have a Robo on the way. It's going to be a 1-base all-in. Classic is going to be committing. We should be seeing a 3rd gateway. There it is. 3rd gateway has been thrown down. Classic is committed on 1-base play. And Hero back at home, going for an expand and still doesn't know what's going on. Stalkers have arrived. They're going to be trying to break through into the natural, getting a lot of damage done already. Almost getting a kill on that Stalker. And here comes the hallucination. Hero, he needs to scout. He needs to recognize what's been going on. Outside of that, is being dragged out into the open. Additional Stalkers are being warped in. Hallucination diving into that main base, and once we see the production, we're going to realize just how committed Classic is. As there we go, we get eyes on the 3 gateways, we get eyes on the Robo. Hero knows. And back at home, we need to get ready. Immediately, defensive Robo. Robo's on the way. In PvP, Robos are just the most defensive building, or like they allow you to get into the powerhouse that is Immortal production, and Immortals are going to be very necessary here for Hero to survive. We need those Immortals as soon as possible. And again, a very crucial moment that he was able to scout. Classic transitioning into a Bay. Going straight into a Robotics Bay. He's going for a Disruptor drop, actually. Or going for rushing into Disruptors behind this. Okay. A very unique way to approach this from Classic. Meanwhile, the Prism has arrived. Going to be trying to drop into the main base. Hero, can he keep up with the rotation? Stalkers, they do threaten the natural base. Prism goes into the main. Hero not quite in position. And probes are going to be going down. Forcing a recall as well. A pretty big reaction here out of Hero. Does force this back. At the same time, does fend off the Stalkers at the natural. Hero is ahead economically. Meanwhile, Classic is doubling down. Setting up and getting into his Disruptor production. Disruptors are on the way. I'm loving the proxy pylon as well. just so we can reinforce. Even if the Prism is busy juggling, even if the Prism is not sieged, we're going to be able to reinforce here on the front lines as well. Here we go. The Adepts have arrived. The goal here is for the Adepts to shade past the army into a mineral line to try to cripple the economy. Hero is trying to get ready here, but the shield batteries... Oh, the shield battery is done in the main. The Adepts will commit, and probes are going down. If we deal enough economic damage, Classic will try to expand. As he gets 7, 8 worker kills. Shades out of there as well. And just like that, Classic evens up the worker count, and now we can take a base. Oh my god. Can Classic transition out of this? But now, the Immortals going to be bouncing off each other. Disruptor has arrived. Is in the Prism, actually. It hasn't been revealed. Oh. Hasn't been revealed. Now we're going for the Nova. Big connection. Takes out 2 sentries. Big connection here on the army of Hero. Was not expecting that. At the same time, Adepts stay shaded to the main once again. Hero is in position. Hero going to try and chase this all the way back. The Adepts stay shaded once again, doing a great job here buffering for the army of Classic. Another Disruptor comes in. Nova will not connect. The other will. Oh, massive connection. So many Stalkers go down. 4 dead Stalkers. And it looks like Classic has too much. He's breaking through. Getting on top of the army. Good juggling here from both players, keeping their Immortals alive at least. Another Disruptor has arrived. Hero has to be very careful here with his control, with his movement. More Adepts going to be shading in. Behind this, Classic did not opt to expand. He is still very much so all in. Shades into the main. Gets into the mineral line, and probes are going down once again. Probes should be going down. Nova goes up. Ooh. Doesn't quite connect with the Immortal. Another Nova will, though. Good chunk of HP goes down on the Immortal. A Stalker goes down as well. Hero, he's up against the wall. He's up against the ropes. And Classic, he's breaking through. The boys have to be pulled. And Immortal goes down. Big pickoff. We're down to 1 versus 1. 1 Immortal versus 1 Immortal. But again, Hero cannot make a mistake. The Immortal is so low. Forces Classic back. Hero reinforcing with another Immortal. Oh, gets the Disruptor. Big pickup. Gets 1 Disruptor in the end. Classic reinforcing once again with more Adepts. Again, he's so close to breaking Hero. So very close. 1 good Nova away from pulling it off. Again, doesn't commit, forces back the army. There is no shield battery. Nova only takes out a probe. Hero, he wants these Disruptors. He wants any of these pickups even. God, the Immortal's getting very low. Nova goes up. Takes out 2 Stalkers and a Pylon. And Immortal goes down. We're down to 1. A second Immortal comes down for Hero. Does reinforce. Does get here just in time. This all-in has been going on for almost 8 minutes. Ah. Nova connects. But what's important here is that Hero, he's surviving. He still maintains a better economy. Still has mining at his natural. War Prism taking some hits. We're going across the map. He's crazy. I don't know if we can get away with this. Hero has to evacuate. He gives up on his natural, and this means that Classic, he can commit. Nova goes up. No! Will graze the army. 1 Disruptor was forced to pick up as well. Another Nova goes off, and it looks like Hero has been broken. He risked it all going for an attack across the map. He's down to 1 Immortal here. His attention being spread far too thin. And it looks like Classic is doing it. Again, it was a Hail Mary play here. Hero across the map still has that 1 Immortal, but he's losing everything back at home. He's going to recall, though. Does recall his Immortal back. Can he survive 3 Immortals versus 1 Disruptor? Hero, he's going to clean this up. Hero is down to 4 probes, though. Hero's economy is in shambles, but he does have a larger army. Classic on 1 base economy. And Hero is still stuck at home. He's down to 3 probes. 3 workers left. 2. 2 probes remaining, 1 in each base. Ay, ay, ay. Sorry, 1 hidden across the map, actually. 1 probe mining. 0 probes mining. No economy left. No economy remaining here for Hero. At the same time, Hero going for a big counterattack here with 2 Immortals. He has shields. Depending on the control, we could maybe pull this off, but we have a bit of economy. We have a micro. We have production, sorry. We have production. We can make another Immortal. Classic. He should have this in the bag. Unlike Hero, who has nothing going on back at home. Classic can mine resources. He can build up his army once again. Nova goes off. Forces the juggling here from Hero. Look at the units. Hero's got 2 Immortals and 1 Adept. Against 1 Immortal, 2 Adepts, and 1 Stalker. How good is the control going to be here? Oh, Classic taking a lot of hits. Staying a lot of damage. We'll lose the Stalker. Oh, but Hero loses one of his Immortals. Big misstep there. And takes another hit. 1 more hit and it goes down, and that's it. That's all we had left. GG gets called. And Classic will take game number 1. Ah. GG. GG, well played. Classic does take a lead in this series. But that was so close, and to be fair as well, a lot of this was on Hero. Hero, remember, initially he had a held, he had the better economy, he had 2 bases, and then Hero went for a Hail Mary, like a wild maneuver, a Hail Mary play, where Hero loaded up 2 Immortals and went across the map. In the middle of his defense, he left with those 2 Immortals, which meant that Classic could break his opponent. It meant that Classic could break into the natural, break into the main, and snowball out of control. GG. GG, well played. With that, Classic, he is 1 game away from advancing on to the grand finals. 1 more game is all he needs. Meanwhile, Cyan versus Nightmare still ongoing in the lower half of the bracket. Let me just quickly double check here. And I'm curious, what is going on there? Where's Anki? Where is my Anki? Just gonna be double checking here. Again, Enki is our Spanish caster, and Enki is covering the lower semifinals. And they are currently in game number 2, I believe. Just double checking. Yeah, they're in game 2. Cyan is up 1-0. Oh my god. Cyan is popping off. Again, Cyan did recently qualify for IM Katowice, so he is in form currently. And yeah, he's doing well for himself. Uno más. 1 more game, and he's not looking too bad against Nightmare. Oh boy. Meanwhile, we're still in the middle of our own series, of course. Still waiting for our players to ready on up. As we dive into game number 2. As a reminder, it's a best of 3. Best of 3, we could have an ace match. I want to believe we can get an ace match here between our 2 players. But it's up to Hero and Classic. Hello, Jeff Bezos. Hello. Hello, everyone but Slowbro. Kappa. You're not. Slowbro, he went to bed. Slowbro, he was here. You missed him, Bobby. You missed him. He went to bed like an hour ago. Or half an hour ago. Half an hour ago. Went to bed. Here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of Alkiona. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is Hero. And spawning in the bottom left, we have his opponent. We have the player currently leading the series 1-0, representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. Your team first again today. Slowbro has been slow recently. He has been a little bit slow. Today it was Baby Lings. Babeling redeemed first. Este Slowbro. Imagine being busy during the holidays. Imagine. Shaking my head. As we are here. Potentially the final game here of this best of 3. I want to believe, though, that we can get an ace match. But we'll see how we open up. For now, Hero going for a 2-gate opener, so is Classic. Neither one has opted for a low ground gate expand. Neither one is taking the risk. Not yet. Not yet, as the gateways are on the way. Both pylons are being thrown down in their respective... Oh, never mind! Hello, Classic. I was about to say that both pylons are being thrown down in their respective bases. That is true for Hero. He has a second pylon in his main, but Hero is scouting, and he does confirm that the second pylon is missing, because it's going to be across the map for Classic. Now, this is a prime location for a proxy Stargate, for an Oracle into the main base. Otherwise, we could actually try to mine through this mineral patch here, and we could go for a different proxy entirely, but this should be a Stargate. We'll see. Oh my god! This is another one base all-in. Game 1, Classic went for a one base all-in. Game 2, it's happening again. Now, Hero, he did see that the pylon was missing, and he does confirm that this wall has been opened up, and Hero is scouting. He sees a pilot. He sees a probe, sorry. Hero, he knows something is here. He may assume it's going to be a Stargate opener. He has a probe on the top left as well. He is looking for the pylon, and he will come across the proxy. Big scout here for Hero. Big scout as he does confirm that robo on the way. Getting right back at home. Reactively going for his own defensive robo and a third gateway. So a much earlier scout. The stalkers are here. We shut down. We force a cancel. Yeah. We force a cancel on the robo. Classic is being shut down. And Classic is in a really rough position. From here, Hero is going for his own counter one base all-in. With 3 gateways and a robo, Classic, he expands back at home. And suddenly, in a game where Hero was meant to be the defender, suddenly he's the aggressor. The turns have very quickly tabled, and Hero is now all in, and Classic has to survive. Oh my god, how the pendulum swings very quickly one way to the other. And yeah, Hero is going to be committing. We have a Prism on the way. Probe Scout is denied. Classic is in the dark. He has no idea what's going on. But he did confirm the lack of expansion. So Classic, shield batteries on the way. Second shield battery as well. Defensive robo. Hero going for a bay straight into disruptors once again. Hero, he's pulling a Classic. This is how Classic was able to win game 1. Hero looking to bring it back here in game 2. Ooh, does throw down the expansion though. Interesting. Okay, so instead of doubling down on immortal production, he's going for a faster expansion into 0 mortals, actually going into a bay. So Hero is going to be the aggressor, yes, but he is not all in. He could have been if he wanted to. He could have started immortal production, but is going to be backing off instead, respecting the position here of Classic. I mean, Classic, he's ready. Like, regardless of what comes, like, he is so prepared for a push. At his natural, less so his main. There we go, Stalkers, they have arrived. They take down a probe. Not going to be able to achieve too much else, though. This Hero has to pick up and get the hell out of there. Disruptor production has commenced. I love that we have Warp Prison speed on the way as well, so we're going for a Disruptor drop. Bold move out of Hero. And this is a good way to catch up. Remember, Classic, he has a faster Nexus. He gets better saturation on 2 bases. Hero is falling behind the economy. So we have to catch up. And how do we catch up? Disruptors. Meanwhile, Classic hasn't scouted the main base yet, but he soon will with the hallucination. Ooh, big force field is what we catch the Adepts. 1, 2, 3 Adepts go down. Big catch here from Classic. Hero forced to recall. He has to recall to save the Prism to get into his drop play, but he gets scouted. Hallucination comes in. We scout the bay. We see it researching, which means we know that this should not be Extend Thermal Lance. This should be Warp Prison speed. And Classic, he should be splitting up his army. There we go. See SimCity here in the main. Stalkers are moving out. Bold move. Oh. He sees the prism. No, the prism! Oh, it gets caught in the center of the map. It's gonna go down. Oh my god. Nervous go off. In a bit of a panic, big connection on the sentries, but these disruptors, recalls on cooldown, we catch both of them. The prism comes in, barely saves one. Oh my god, very clutch micro there from Hero. Saves one disruptor, but that was still disastrous. At the same time, big warp in into the main base. The warp prism does go down though. Ooh, classic overextending. Does get 7 probe kills, true, but Hero is still up in economy, up in workers. The Nova comes in, disruptor goes off. Big connection. Almost big. 3 probes. 3 probes go down. Things are getting very chaotic. They're getting very chaotic here as Hero is still being active here with his disruptor. Classic lost a lot in his own aggression. We're waiting for another purification over. Adepts, they're warped straight into the mineral line. Stalkers are going to be recalled. Adepts, they shade into the main base. We have a Nova in the chamber. And what do we go for? The probes or the army? We go for the army. Ooh. Why not both? We get a shot off on the Immortal on a couple of probes. Good connection. And suddenly, as the dust settles, this is still anyone's game. To quickly take stock, Hero has a slight worker advantage. He has the better tech. He's going for double War Prism Micro. Oh my god. We have a Prism towards the main, a Prism towards the natural. We have another Nova. Getting another 3 probe kills. Keeping the attention here towards the right-hand side, dragging Classic out of position. Hero comes in with the second War Prism. Again, just all over Classic. Blink is still on the way. Blink's still nowhere near being done, actually. Get another Nova. Another 2 probes. And economically, Hero, he's running away with this, getting into plenty of Immortals. Gateways as well. Adepts shade in. Another 2 probes. Almost 3. Adepts continue to shade in as well, and Classic is being pulled apart. Being pulled apart completely at this point. Cannot keep up with the aggression of Hero. It's going to be 12, 13 probe kills. 14! And we're not done. We're coming in again. And once again, Classic nowhere to be found. And he's it's at this point he has to push out. It's all or nothing for Classic. He knows that he just cannot maintain his economy, not anymore. And we're going for one big all-in. Now, to be fair, Classic is ahead in army supply. He is ahead in supply. But he's pushing into shield batteries, overcharge, defender's advantage. This is going to be a tough all-in to pull off. Oh, almost gets a War Prism. Going to be engaging a little bit prematurely. The rest of the army is still not here. The War Prism of Hero does get picked off. But the Immortal goes down as well. We get on top of the Prism. We get one more volley to take it down. Don't quite get it. Classic, he gets on top of the Immortal. And Classic is chasing this down. Hero has the overextended. He has one more Immortal reinforcing. We blink on forward. We dive on top of it. One more volley. The overcharge keeps it alive. And Hero is holding. I spoke too soon. Hero overextending. Pulled a little bit too far out. The overcharge not coming into play. Classic. He is up and Immortal. Still slightly ahead in army supply as well. Taking control of the low ground. Shuts down the pylon. But Hero has the Stalker lead. 11 Stalkers to 8. The Immortal. Oh my god. Bit of mispathing there. Classic going for the gold. It's still anyone's game. Going for the gold base behind this. Hero, sorry, Classic, he may be down 10 workers, but the gold is a good way to catch back up. Here we go. We are going to pull back. From here, Hero dipping back into the natural. There's not much in position. Yeah, 2 Adepts is all you need to threaten the mineral line. Kill a couple of probes. Oh, the Warp Prism does go down though. This is a pretty expensive loss here for Hero. But it's fine. It's more than fine. We get into the main base, we get 4 probe kills. And a lot of lost mining time. Oh, and we're not done either. Oh my god, this is getting out of hand. At this point, the gold is not going to be enough. We get 7 more worker kills, and sure, we have the gold base. Sure, even if we get this fully saturated, it's still not enough to recover from the losses that we've sustained. Hero working on a 3rd, building up his stalker counts, working immortals. Ay. We're just waiting for the War Prism. After this immortal, we should be making a War Prism to reinforce, to move out. Likewise, Classic gonna try and turn the tables here on Hero. Going for his own drop in. Here we go. Slipping into the main. Hero pushing out at the same time. Hero ahead in army supply, pretty far actually. In a head-to-head fight, he can take this. Decent force fields. But the Immortals, they're pushing through. They're getting involved as well. We dive on top of the army, and Hero, he will swallow this up. The force fields did a really great job at just zoning away those Immortals, but they could only do so for so long. As 1 Immortal is left, soon to be 0. GG gets called, and we are going to the ace match. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game number 3. Oh my god. Again, it's been an intense ride already, but we're here for the ace match. Here we go. Meanwhile, do we have any other results coming in? Looks like we do not. Looks like Cyan and Nightmare are still in the ace match as well. We do love to see it. Both PvPs in game 3. Getting into the ace match. It all ends here. Now, every game so far, Classic has gone for a 1 base all-in variation. Game 1, it was just a straight up Robo in the main base, 1 base all-in. Game 2, remember, Classic was going for a proxy Robo across the map, which was shut down. Here in Game 3, where does the Robo get placed? Where is it going to be thrown down? That is the question. So we are getting into the ace match. See in the chat. Este Rowdy. Oh, you're first, Bappy. Shaking my head as we load into game 3, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing CranKy Z Gaming, tying up the series 1-1 in that last game. It is Hero. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Twisted Minds. It is Classic. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to our final game here of this series. The winner faces off against another Protoss player in the final, still undetermined, still yet to be determined who it is, whether it's Nightmare or Cyan. And the probes are moving out to scout. We are going to be getting across the map, trying to get a read on what is going on, making sure that the pylons are where they should be, and if not, making sure we're able to find out where they are. Gateways are going to be thrown down. Again, it's going to be a 2-gate opener from Classic as well as Hero. Probes being as annoying as possible. And for the time being, we don't have any probe on the map, so it looks like we shouldn't go for any proxies this time. Last game, Classic was able to he tried to sneak one out, but he was caught. And there it is. Second pylon in the main base for Classic. Second pylon in the main base for Hero as well. Everything looking normal. And will we get a standard PvP? Will we get there in the end? I'm ready for it. I mean, we've had a pretty chaotic series so far. It's been very chaotic, but I'm more than happy to embrace something a little bit more by the book as we are going for a double Adept opener. Hero going double Adept. We have Classic going double Stalker. So Hero is going to be the aggressor. With these two Adepts, he's going to be shading across the map. We're going to get into the mineral line. We could double down and go up to 4, 6, and even 8 Adepts. We'll see how hard we commit. But if it's only just 2, and then we can go into Stalkers from here. Meanwhile, we have our tech of choice, Classic, going for a delayed Nexus into a Stargate opener. Should be for Oracles. Meanwhile, the probe does get eyes on the Adepts, and we are only going for a double Adept into Oracle as well. Okay. So, what's interesting is that Hero waited for the probe to die before throwing down the Stargate. So Hero's Stargate is a little bit delayed. Oh, his Adept gets caught out as well. Yeah, one Adept is going to fall. Suddenly, that takes so much firepower away from this opener from Hero. One Adept shades in, but we do get a Scout. Yeah, we do get eyes on the Stargate as well as the first Oracle being made, and we are getting damage done. Oh my god, 2 probes go down already. And we do get eyes on both Adepts as well. Good scouting here from Hero. Good damage. 4 probe kills. Oh, but we get 5. 5 worker kills here for Hero. Behind this, getting into his 3rd gateway, working towards Oracles. Getting his army settled here on top of the ramp. Classic is expanding. Hero threw down the 3rd gateway. Hero, he wants to be the aggressor. And he's setting up for potentially a proxy 4th gate. He's going for it. Stalkers, they catch at the Oracle. Oracle almost goes down. Shield batteries on the way. Yep, there we go. There's that pylon. Hero, he's committing. Solid shield battery there gets thrown down. We do wall off. We do deny those Adepts. Meanwhile, the army has arrived. Hero going straight for the kill. Going straight for the main. Oh, but he does run into some Stalkers. Oracle's coming into support as well as we do dive on the army. We trade 1 for 1. Take down 2 Stalkers. We're going for a 3rd Stalker as well. We don't quite get it. We get surrounded. Ooh, Hero gets trapped. He does get caught out. He is getting a couple of SCV kills, a couple of probe kills even. But Hero, he's running out of momentum, running out of steam. Down to 3 Stalkers remaining. Down to 2. He's going to get the sentry. At the same time, Oracles get in. Oh, back at home, though, we got 6 probe kills. Classic evens up the worker count. And remember, Classic is up a base. Hero is the player that's all in. He's trying to reinforce. He's only got 3 gateways. No gateway across the map. The probe goes down. And Hero's in a lot of trouble. Hero needs to make this work. Catches a couple of Stalkers. Takes down one of them at least. Good control out of Hero, but he's being forced back. The Oracle chases down the weakened Stalkers. Reinforcements have arrived. No shield battery! Uh-oh. No shield battery on the low ground. Classic just focusing on warping in. He's on 5. But with the reinforcements here, he has the Stalker lead. He has the Phoenix as well. He can lift. He can lift. Boys are being pulled, but it looks like Hero may just have too much. Yeah, we go for the warp in, but it's not going to be in time. GG gets called, and Hero will barely break through. And Hero will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Hero will take it in the end, barely breaking through. Again, Classic didn't have any static defense. He had very limited warp ins available. He was down a gateway. Remember, it was 2 gateways out of Classic, 3 gateways from Hero. And Hero did snowball, did break through. GG. GG, well played. Hero advances on to the finals, and he has another Protoss player ready and waiting. It's going to be a PvP between Hero and Nightmare. Let's go. Now, Nightmare did go to the ace match against Cyan. So a big shout out to Cyan to force the ace match and yeah, to even bring down Dark earlier as well. Really impressive performance so far out of Cyan. But with that, we are down to 2 players remaining here. Hero and Nightmare in a best of 5. We're going to be going on a short break, waiting for the players to conduct their vetoes. When they're done, we will be diving into the grand finals. See you soon. Welcome back everyone to the grand finals, the grand finale here of the KSL Korean StarCraft League week number 39, the PvP edition of KSL. Again, the semis was pure Protoss, and now we are here to determine who has the best PvP amongst our Protoss players. I'm ready for it. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Equilibrium, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Matcherino Esports. It is Nightmare. And spawning in the top left, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming. Just Sultan Classic 2-1. It is Hero. Nightmare vs. Hero. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. place your bets on who you think will take this. Coming into this, Hero is going to be the favored. He's the more well-rounded player overall. That is true, but it's a PvP. Upsets have happened before. They can happen again. There is a chance, of course, that Nightmare is able to turn the tables here on Hero and to come out victorious instead. We'll see. We shall see. Again, Hero just had a very close series against Classic, went all the way to the 8th match, and even in Game 3, there were moments for both Hero and Classic where they were both had certain advantages. They could both take the game. It was a very close best of 3 in the end. But where will this take us as we load into Equilibrium for the first time? Predictions of the day. Yeah. Beautiful. Ooh. As for the time being, probes are going to be coming in, getting a scout on each other. It is going to be a double gate opener from Hero, double gate from Nightmare as well. Second pylon have been thrown down in each player's respective main bases, which means no proxies. No proxies initially in Game 1. Everything is looking normal. My eyes are really on the gold base locations. I'm curious if either one of our players try to rush into the gold early on as a natural or as a third base. I am curious where this takes us, as we have Hero going double Stalker. Meanwhile, Nightmare is going to be going double Adept. So again, Nightmare is looking for some economic damage. Hero looking to be a little bit more assertive on the map with just a better army overall. His goal here is to try to catch these Adepts in the middle of the map. And from Nightmare, it's going to be to try to bypass the Stalkers of Hero. So now Hero going for a pylon, does get eyes on the first 2 units. Hero is aware of the Adepts moving out across the map, and he's aware that he has to try to catch them. Behind this, it's going to be a Stargate opener out of Hero before expansion. We're going for the Oracles. Meanwhile, Nightmare is checking the gold, wants to make sure that Hero wasn't sneaking into it. Very important scout. Very important for Nightmare to keep track of. As likewise, Adepts do move out as well. And Nightmare going for, that is a third gateway and a robo. This is looking like a one base all in. Oh my god. Nightmare going to be doubling down here. Adepts still dancing with the units here of Hero. So far so good. Good control out of Nightmare as well. Barely does shade away. At the same time, Nightmare catches a Stalker, forcing a recall. Hero is expanding. Nightmare is not. Nightmare is committed, and Hero is in the dark. This is the scary thing at the moment. Hero is still lacking scouting information. He is heavily reliant on this Oracle. This Oracle, on the one hand, yes, it can deal economic damage, that is true, but we need to get a scout on what the hell's going on and how committed Nightmare is. Stalkers are in position. Adepts are being forced back. Shield batteries finishing up. We move out at the wrong time. The Oracle dives in, and we do get eyes on the Robo. We do not get taken out. Stalker's now repositioning, but the Stalker will make it into that dead space in the top right-hand corner of the map. Nightmare's pushing. He is now moving out, reinforcing with more Stalkers. His goal is to break the natural or the main. And Hero has a shield battery, threw down a defensive Robo. Immortal production has already commenced for Hero. And here comes the stasis. Nightmare does react in time. 2 workers get stasis in the end. One more than what is the norm. Some nice. Oh no! Get back to mining! Oh, a little bit of miscontrol there out of Nightmare. He doesn't actually go back to mining. Another stage trap going to be going up. And he does catch all the probes. Big connection in the main base. Meanwhile, Nightmare doesn't care. He's pushing. He's focusing on his attack. Forcing his way into the main as well. Getting a bit of damage done on that Immortal. But we're bleeding out too much. And too many Stalkers are going down. Nightmare, he's losing momentum. Running out of steam. Down to a handful of Stalkers. Only 3 left, and that is not enough. That is not enough to break anything here. As Hero's going to be able to push down to the low ground, shut this down as well. The Prism has arrived overcharged on top of this. And GG gets called. The all-in has failed, and Hero will take game number 1. Ooh, GG. Again, Nightmare was so unfortunate that he moved out of position at the wrong time where the Oracle came into the main, was able to cripple the economy, was able to deny any additional warp-ins of Nightmare as well, just because his economy was so disrupted. Meanwhile, he was all in anyway, and he just had to try to force his way up that ramp. Alas, wasn't able to get on top of the Immortal. The Immortal survived. Good control out of Hero. Really nice control out of Hero overall. To be able to harass across the map and defend back at home. GG. GG, well played. Hero does take a lead in the series. But it's only game 1. And it's a best of 5. 5 games. Potentially we can go all 5 games here. Plenty of games left. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, just quickly checking the calendar as well. How much time do I have to do I sleep? Do I nap? Do I try to nap after this? We have there's no time. We have another cast in 3 hours. I thought it was a little bit later. 3 hours time. More StarCraft. We'll get into that once we wrap up with this series, but here we go. We're here in the midst of the grand finals, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Solaris, we have our South Korean Protoss, the blue Protoss representing Matcherino Esports. It is Nightmare. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is Hero. Let's go. Once again, 2 gate openers from both Hero and Nightmare. Probes are moving out, almost immediately to scout. Try to get a read on each other. The probes will pass here in the center of the map. Huh. Ah. No boops, unfortunately. No head boop. They do pass by each other in the night. And we'll see if we commit to any kind of proxy play here. Again, you don't have to proxy to go all in. As we saw in that last game, Nightmare just went for a straight up 3-gate robo on 1 base. No proxies. Committed. Unfortunately, he was scattered. Unfortunately, Hero was able to react and respond in time with his own defensive Immortal. We'll see if Nightmare can bring it back, can fight back in this series. I want to believe he can. Do want to believe. But now, probes being as annoying as possible. Second pylons thrown down. No proxies. No proxy pylons here from either player. Not yet. Not yet in this best of 5. So we are just scouring the map here, just dipping in between the bases. We have our first units of choice. It's going to be double Stalker from Hero. Nightmare going double Adept. Okay, so once again a pretty similar dynamic where Nightmare wants to be aggressive early on. And we'll see if he can bypass the Stalkers this time. Last time Hero was able to engage, was able to slow this and even force it back. Once again, Hero being very active with this probe. The goal of this probe at the moment is to get a scout on the first 2 units. There's that pylon. Probe will get the hell out of there, and this pylon will get eyes on those 2 Adepts. So a good scout here from Hero. As Hero's moving out with his Stalkers, hoping to meet those Adepts. And he does end up catching the probe. Ignores the Adepts and just sends it, Bobby. The Adepts will commit, but we do have a full wall being set up. Probe comes in, but we have Stalkers in position, and we to barely throw down that shield battery. At the same time, across the map, Hero tries to push in, is denied. We're going for a 1-base all-in again from Nightmare. Is going 3 gateways with the robo, just like the previous game. Meanwhile, Hero is doing the same. We are mirroring each other. Both players committing to 1-base all-ins. Things are about to get a little bit rowdy. Things are about to get a little bit odd. And it's all going to come down to the control and preserving units. Speaking of, 1 Adept goes down. Second Adept is going to be going down as well. So, some brutal losses here for Nightmare. Has been bleeding out a little bit more than his opponents. And every unit counts here, especially in a mirror matchup. Especially when both players are doing the same thing. as I say that, Hero is going to be the first to expand, but it looks like Nightmare is going to be expanding as well. Okay. Adepts are shading towards the south, going for an extra warp in instead. Never mind. So I assumed for a moment that Nightmare was going to be taking expansion, but instead we did go for an extra warp in. Hero taking a more defensive position back at home. Oh my god. I very rarely get to hear Caster Park in game, but I'm all for it. Let's go. Ballet back, ballet. And here we go. Nightmare is expanding. A much later expansion though, as he has decided to kind of back off from his opponents. Now both players are building up some hefty immortal counts, but neither player wants to be the aggressor. It looks like both player was expecting the opposing player to push into them. Prism is moving out. For Nightmare. His goal here to lift up these adepts to get into the mineral line. Meanwhile, Hero is in position in his main, ready for whatever comes his way. Observer does confirm the timing of the Twilight Council. Didn't see the robo, but the Twilight Council timing should be enough of a tell. Hero, he should recognize that it's going to be the same build, or very similar at least. Prism slips into the main. But we do see Hero in position, does push this back. And the question becomes, how hard do we commit? Because Hero hasn't been making workers. Okay, there we go. We have 2 more probes on the way. I'm like, man, he's cutting workers. There we go. He's going for a drop across the map, getting into a later Twilight Council, later Blink. Meanwhile, Adepts, they do manage to slip into the main base. Oh my god. Don't get a worker though. Good control out of Hero. Prism comes in. Oh my god! Prism comes in, but the Prism is gonna be zoned away. Oh my god. Nightmare coming from behind. He wants to shut down that War Prism. He will get the Prism, but we'll lose a lot of Stalkers in the process, and we will recall the hell out of there. That was 1 War Prism for 5 Stalkers. Not a bad trade for Hero, especially considering he keeps the Immortals alive. And now he's pushing. He's moving out, he's rebuilding that War Prism. He is keeping some Stalkers back at home, fully aware that there's a War Prism that can threaten him. But again, this is just such a tense moment here. Hero, he's doubling down. Glaives, not Blink. Glaives is on the way. This confirms that Hero wants to be as aggressive as possible. Glaive Adepts do a great job at tanking Immortal shots, so the goal here is for Hero to mass a large amount of Adepts, to be able to shade, to be able to get on top and dive on top of these Immortals and focus them down. Coming with a hallucinated Colossus? Okay. Decent force field, going to be able to dive on top of the Immortals. Good juggling though, we keep the Immortals alive, we do pull them back. Despite that, Hero is going to be committing. He's going to try to break through. Oh, gets 1 Immortal in the end. The other getting very low. And it looks like we may not even need the Glaive Adepts because Hero, he has broken the natural. Boys are being pulled. Every Immortal has fallen. It's just straight up Stalkers remaining here for Nightmare, and it's not going to be enough. GG gets called, and Hero is able to take a 2-0 lead in the Grand Finals. GG. Oh, a solid push there out of Hero. He was able to catch Nightmare with his pants down, just barely. Nightmare just wasn't ready for that. He had the War Prism, yes, but he was down in Immortal production. He had 2 Immortals against the 3 of his opponents, and he had Stalkers in his main. He didn't have everything together at his natural. He didn't see the move out. He was in the dark. In the dark as to what Hero was up to. And with that, Game 3. Oh boy, can Nightmare fight back? Can he put a point on the board? We've seen it before. He has taken maps, but he's having a bit of a hard time here today. Bring it back, Poppy. Bring it back. Give us some more games. Give us some more PvP. It's going to be on Nightmare. The pressure is on. Cyan beat Dark. Was it fake Dark? No, real Dark. It was real Dark. I mean, Cyan, he's beaten Dark before. He has, I say beaten Dark, he's taken maps before, and I think he's, no, sorry, I'm pretty sure he's actually beaten Dark. I think it was like a month ago. Let's see. I want to say it was in KSL as well, or was it Kung Fu Cup? But it's happened before. Again, Cyan, for those that are maybe not familiar, he has been improving a lot this year. Cyan even qualified for IM Katowice over Korean players. He's been looking really damn good. Really damn strong recently. And here we go. We're getting into game number 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Match Arena Esports. It is Nightmare. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss, the red Protoss player representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming. It is Hero. One game away from advancing on here, from becoming this week's KSL champion. Let's go. And yeah, I was double checking. It was KSL week 36, so 3 weeks ago. So yeah, around a month ago, where Cyan also went to the ace match against Dark. We were fortunate enough to cast that. I believe that was the same week where Cyan took down Oliveira. I think he 2-0'd Oliveira in that very same tournament. Let me just double check. Yep, he 2-1'd Oliveira in that same tournament. So yeah, Cyan, he's been popping up. He's been improving a lot. There's a big reason why Cyan was picked up by Mystery Gaming around a month ago as well. Cyan was on the Starving Camels for a long time, but did get a new team. And of course, in the midst of that new team, in the midst of taking down players like Oliveira and now Dark, again, he is going to be a part of IEM in the coming months. Is going to be there in Poland in that offline event. So really cool to see. Really cool to see a lot of the Chinese Protoss players pop off. Both Cyan and Firefly, the ex SLT boys, SSLT. They've been improving so much this year. It's been really cool to see. That's been really cool to see here. I mean, we almost had a Cyan versus Hero finals. Like Cyan, he went all the way to the ace match, and I think it was like a 15-minute game against Nightmare for the ace full game 3 as well. It has been really cool to see them just improve over time, improve over the past year of StarCraft. But now we're settling into potentially the final game of this finals. Again, I would hope to see our players get a little bit more out of each other, and I want to see a more back and forth. But every game so far, we've seen Nightmare go for a variation of 3-gate Robo. Every game so far without fail. As Hero, this time he's going to be the first to throw down that 3rd gateway and that Robo as well. Now, upon seeing this, I would usually say a 1-base all-in, but we saw that last game, we saw this opener eventually led into Hero expanding, so I don't know how much I want to commit to that. I mean, this is a little bit earlier for Hero, so this should be a 1-base all-in from our red Protoss, but we'll see, as Nightmare is expanding. So Nightmare is going to be the defender. For the first time this series, Nightmare goes 2-gate into an expansion, and Hero is looking to be in his face. Here we go. Yeah, Prism is on the way. Immortal's behind this. Adept's going to be threatening a shade, but we do not get into the main. Takes down one of those sentries. Not too bad. Gets the sentry, the other will survive. So we take down both Adepts. And here we go. Hero is committed. He's gonna be rallying everything across the map. He of course has scattered the expansion. He's aware of the base. And there's not much more pressure on Hero to get damage done. You can see behind this, Hero does have a probe in position to expand. But more than anything, he needs to cripple the economy of Nightmare. Otherwise, Hero will be left behind. There we go. We get another wave of probes. He does pull back with that, his own worker. Probes. We get a wave of Stalkers. He pulls back with that probe. We are committed. We're pushing in. Here we go. We have 9 Stalkers to the 5 of his opponent. We have a good Guardian Shield as well. The Prism does tank some of those shots. Overcharge his pop, but we can 2-shot these Stalkers. We get 1, we get 2. We get a 3rd Stalker as well, even through the overcharge. Oh, barely we don't get the last one though. And the Immortal has arrived. Now with the help of this Immortal, we should be able to hold on, but the overcharge is now on cooldown, and Hero comes in with some more reinforcements. He goes right for the Immortal. And it's going to go down. A 3rd volley brings down the Immortal. We can focus on the sentries as well. Good juggling here out of Hero, keeping some of these Stalkers alive. And a force field traps the units of Nightmare, and it looks like Hero, he has too much. He has broken the army, broken through. GG gets called. And Hero will take the series 3-0, becoming this week's Korean StarCraft League champion. GG. GG, well played. Oh my god. A very aggressive PvP here. I mean, even in the semifinals as well. But Hero looking dominant in these finals. Nightmare did try his best. He was putting up a fight. Did try to be the aggressor himself in game 1 and in game 2 as well. But Hero was able to keep up. Hero was able to scout, confirm, or react beautifully. And yeah, Hero with a dominant performance here in the finals. The semis was a little bit closer. Classic versus Hero was very close. Went down to the wire. And even in game 3, Classic was winning, then Hero was winning. Like it was much more of a back and forth. Here, a more dominant performance out of Hero. Congratulations. You know, reason why Hero is one of the best Protoss players in the world, and is a terrifying opponent regardless of who you are, regardless of if you're Nightmare or Classic or Max Packs. In a PvP, Hero is terrifying. And GG. Congratulations. Congratulations, Hero, as he will take the series 3-0. And a shout out to Nightmare for making it this far, for making it into the finals and making it past Cyan. And that is going to be wrapping up our first broadcast here of the day, our first of many. We're going to be live again in 2.5 hours. In 2.5 hours time, we're going to be live here on the channel with Grand Platypus Open. We should be featuring players like Hon Mono, Demi, Mia Micah, Nice, and many others as well. GPO, if you are unfamiliar, is a region-locked bi-weekly tournament. Region-locked for the region of Asia, EPT Asia, which excludes Korea. So China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Australia, India, Vietnam, Malaysia, for example, for a couple of those countries, Japan as well. So it is region-locked to the region of Asia, and yeah, we do host the event on a bi-weekly basis. And yeah, we're going to be having one of our final GPOs of the year in 2.5 hours. So I'm tempted. I might nap for an hour. It sounds risky. I'll set all the alarms. I didn't get to sleep a lot today. I didn't get to sleep much. So I might try to nap for an hour, and then we'll just dive right back into it, right back into some casting, into Grand Platypus Open. After GPO, in 4 hours after GPO, in how many hours from now? If you go to bed now, it's going to be in 6 hours and 40 minutes. In 6 hours and 40 minutes from this message, we're also going to be live with another tournament after GPO. It's going to be World Team League. The final day of the round robin stage of World Team League is tonight in just under 7 hours. So if you happen to be maybe situated in North America, I know it's really late in North America at the moment, so if you happen to be going to bed, maybe you can wake up in time for some WTL action. There you go. Or if you're in Europe and if you just woke up, then we got a day of StarCraft ahead of us. We still got plenty of StarCraft to come here, with KSL into GPO into WTL. Plenty of StarCraft. Now, also a bit of a PSA if you happen to be going to bed and if you aren't going to be a part of any of those broadcasts, is that we won't be live tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a day off. For the first time in a long time, a full day without any StarCraft. I mean, without casting StarCraft. Basically, tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve here in Australia, and we don't have any events scheduled to broadcast, so we're going to be taking a day off from casting. I will be streaming. I very rarely get to stream on my personal channel. Hold on. Okay. I very rarely get to stream there on my personal channel, light_VIP on Twitch. But I should be there to cast. I should be there to ladder some StarCraft for the first time in a long time. Just because I usually don't ladder before a cast, and I cast every day. And I try not to ladder because it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of like mental energy as well to ladder and to play like hours of StarCraft. And you know, if I end up like in a, not even a losing streak, but if I end up like just with some really rough games, then like I don't want my mood to be affected. So I typically refrain from laddering before casting. So I just don't get a lot of time to ladder. So yeah, tomorrow we should be able to. Should be able to play some StarCraft. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. So you can follow me there if you're interested. Otherwise, have a happy holidays. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy the new year as well. Tomorrow, I think, is going to be our only day off because we got a lot more casting to do. Something that was recently announced, Masters Coliseum. Masters Coliseum was announced a couple of days ago, and the qualifiers are starting Christmas Day from the 25th of December. Back to back to back. We have the Asia qualifier for Masters Coliseum. We have Americas, Europe, Korea. A lot of qualifiers are coming up, and next week on the 30th of December is the final Korean StarCraft League of the year. KSL, the final KSL. Next week is also the final GPO of the year as well. GPO 100. Oh my god. 100 Grand Platypus Opens. Let's go. So what I will say is that leading into the new year, into January, we will have more days off. We have a lot of events are going on hiatus, so we have a lot more days to ourselves in January, and we're going to try to take full advantage of that and just take a break, you know, just take some time off. And by that I really mean just like stream, basically just stream and ladder and play some other games and focus on building up our YouTube channel. Exclamation mark YouTube in the chat. We do upload on a daily basis on our YouTube, and we got plenty of StarCraft on a daily basis that is uploaded if you're interested. If you are interested. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see you guys in 2.5 hours with GPO. See you then. See you then. Until then, though, hasta luego. Bye. Bye. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching. Hasta luego.